Hello there, my precious little chargers. This is Mrs. Boyd. Today, we're going to conquer the land that is known as one-step equations. Buckle up. First, word problems. We're just going to really start out at your favorite thing, word problems. A bank account balance was at -7. That's where we start. But after money M was added, plus M, the account balance is $20. How much was added? Well, we want to get M alone. So we have to move this other number to the other side. Or you can think of it this way. We have to add something to -7 to get to 20. What is it? Well, we can add 7 to get to 0. And then we can add 20 to get to 20. We add these together and we've got 27. So that means our M has to be 27. The other thing we can do, which is what is the most thing we're going to talk about today, is balancing our equation. So if we've got M here and we want to get this M alone, we're going to move this part of our equation, this term, to the other side. And to do that, we're going to do the opposite of what it's doing. It's currently -7. So the opposite of that is positive. Oh, I don't know what that is. 7. We have to do that to the other side as well. Here's what I do after that. I put a line here. I pretend like I'm adding a big long number. And then I just add each column. -7 plus 7 cancels out. I have plus M plus nothing, so it just stays M. 20 plus 7 is 27. So you see we got the same answer in 2 different ways. Let's do another one. 5 pizzas are added to a delivery order X, and now there are 16 in total. How many original orders were there? Well, again, what do we have to add to 5 to get to 16? It's pretty easy to see that that's 11. You can just think about that and know what the answer should be. But if we want to do it algebraically, we remember that X needs to be alone, so we have to do the opposite of the other term. This first term is +5, opposite, -5. We do that on each side. And then we add 5 minus 5 cancels. X comes on down, equals comes on down. 16 minus 5 is 11. If we were to care about units, which in word problems we do, M equals 27, that's $27 is M. X equals 11, well, that 11 is pizzas. So now that you've got the gist of it, I want you to pause here and I want you to work through these first 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 problems. They're very straightforward. I want you to work through all of them and then come back and check your work. I'm going to work through them pretty quickly here as well. All right, let's do it. We've got y minus 4 equals 8. Opposite of -4 is +4. We want to keep y alone. I like to put a little box around my variable so I know not to move it. We add y, cancels, equals 12. My variable here is x. I want it to stay. So that means I'll do the opposite of the other term. -18 plus 3 is -15. Equals, cancels, x. So x equals -15. M plus -4 equals 10. Well, m's going to stay. Opposite of -4. You know what? We're going to rewrite this because I don't like how it's written. Anytime we have a plus and a minus together, the minus always wins. So that's really m minus 4 equals 10. So let's add 4 to each, and I wrote m minus 4 equals m. Add 4 to each side, m's going to stay. Got m equals 14. Last but not least, on this top row, y is going to stay. Opposite of plus 4 is minus 4 on both sides. Y cancels, equals 4. All right, first row down, second row, ready, set, go. X is going to stay here, so we can do the opposite of the other term. So that's minus 3 on each side. Negative 18 minus 3 is minus 21. If they have the same sign, you add them together and give them the same sign back. And that equals, cancel, X. A minus 0.43 equals 0.82. Well, A is going to stay, opposite of the other term. So we add 0.43 to each side. A cancels, equals 8.63. C is going to stay this time. So we do the opposite of the other term. Those cancel. We're left with just C equals 0.757. All right, we've got two minuses together, and I like to think their powers combined to make a plus. So m plus 4 equals 10. M's going to stay. That means we'll subtract 4 from each side. M equals 6. Here we're going to have A stay. So we'll subtract, oh, that's the strangest 2 ever. I gotta do this in my head. Crapo. Gotta get my calculator, folks. 0.43 minus 8.2 is minus 7.77 equals A, and that's the answer. Last but not least, let's get rid of these crazy double negatives. Turns into C plus 0.123 equals 0.634. C will stay, opposite of the term. These are all going to be one-step equations, so you're only going to have one term on all of these today. So C comes down, and we're left with 0.511. All right, that's all the front side. Flip it over, and we're going to try more one-step equations, but this time we're going to be doing multiplication and division. Again, we start out with my personal favorite and your arch nemesis, which is going to be soon your personal favorite, word problems. 1/4 of the pizza toppings T offered at a pizza place are meat. If 5 toppings are meat, how many total toppings are there? Sorry, my cat's trying to pull all the carpet up. All right, so when we're doing T times 1/4, we would usually, these are multiplied together, right? 1/4 and T are being multiplied together. So usually, if things are being multiplied together, the opposite of multiply is divide. But that's not the case when we have a fraction. Instead of dividing by a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And I want you to remember that the reciprocal of 1/4, the reciprocal of that, we just flip it over. 4 goes to the top, 1 goes to the bottom. So I'm going to multiply both sides by that reciprocal. And that gives me on the left 4 over 4t equals, we multiply across the top and across the bottom, 20 over 1. Now let's fix these. We've got lots of fractions that make no sense. 4 over 4 is just 1, and that cancels. So we're left with t on the left. And 20 over 1 is just 20 on the right. So t equals 20. That's total toppings. I hope that made sense. Reciprocal is the name of the game here. Next one, cupcakes are sold for $1.50 each, and $16.50 was the total made. How many cupcakes C were sold? So we write this equation, $1.50 per cupcake. That means we do $1.50 times the number of cupcakes to find out how much money we made. And in this case, we made $16.50. So how many cupcakes? Well, if 150 and C are being multiplied together, the opposite of multiply is divide. So we'll do divide 150 on each side. Just like 4 over 4 was 1, 150 over 150 is 1, cancels. So I'm left with C on the left side. And on the right, we're going to do $16.50 divided by $1.50, and we get 11, and that's 11 cupcakes. Okay. So just like previously on the front side where I kind of had you pause here and then work on the problems on this side, I want you to do the same thing here. Pause, work on these problems, and then we'll come back together. All right, first one, y divided by 4. The opposite of divide by 4 is multiply by 4. 4 divided by 4 cancels out. We're left with y equals 32. Same thing here. X divided by -3. Opposite of divides is multiply. Can't get the words out. -3 over -3 cancels, and we're left with x equals positive 54, because negative times negative means positive. I've got m divided by 10. I want m to stay. So divide by 10 turns into multiply by 10. 10 times -4 is -40. And that equals 10 divided by 10 cancels. And we're just left with m. Now we have 4y equals 8. 4 is multiplying times y. The opposite of multiply is divide. 4 divided by 4 cancels, and I'm left with just y on the left. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Second row, -18 equals -3x. I want to keep x where it's at. Opposite of multiply is divide, so we divide both sides by -3. -18 divided by -3 is 6, and that equals x. Got -4m equals 10, and divide both sides by that -4. That cancels, and I've got m equals, we're going to have a fraction, -10/4. I love fractions. I can reduce this, can divide everything by 2, and I get -5 over 2. 2/3 times a. This is just like the first problem we did on this side. 2/3 I could divide, because it's really multiplying by a, but instead I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Better write it over here too before I forget. 3 over 3 cancels, 2 over 2 cancels. I'm left with just a, and that equals 24 over 2, or 12. 1/4 b equals -2. We'll multiply by the reciprocal again. 4 over 4, 1 over 1, all cancel, and b equals -8. Last few, and then we're done for the day. Got -4 equals -5/2 c. So we multiply by the reciprocal, which is -2/5. -2 times -4 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. And that equals C. Okay, 0.41 equals -8.2a. Well, multiplying by a, opposite of that is divide by -8.2. Going to require a calculator for that guy. 0.41 divided by 8.2. So this is -0.05 equals A. Last one, -0.123c equals -0.4305. We divide both sides by 0.123. And that's got a negative, I almost forgot. Cancel on the left and leave us with C. And on the right, we get 3.5. And that's positive because these two negatives cancel each other out. All right, kiddos, I hope this makes plenty of sense. I hope you're with me. I hope you're getting it. Let me know if you're not. I'll talk to you soon.